today is a very important commemoration. It marks 80 years since the Jews of Macedonia were rounded up and sent by the Bulgarian occupiers to a death camp called Treblinka, from which not one single Jew returned. Not only the Jews of Macedonia were sent by the Bulgarians to Treblinka, the Jews of Thrace, the Jews of Pirat, and all those 11,000, I think it's 343 Jews, were murdered by the Nazis with the help of the Bulgarians who made it possible. And today, Bulgaria is trying to deny that they had any role in the deportations when they were responsible for the deaths of these people. Now, in terms of other countries, in many countries in Eastern Europe, we're facing the problem of Holocaust distortion. In other words, they don't deny that the Holocaust took place. They're changing the history of the Holocaust to absolve themselves of crimes. So you have a country like Lithuania, where out of 220,000 Jews who lived under the Nazi occupation, 212,000 were murdered. There were less than 1,000 Germans in Lithuania during the Nazi occupation. And the method of murder was shooting. 90% of the Jews of Lithuania were shot near their homes, in forests, etc., and in many cases by the Lithuanians themselves. What do the Lithuanians say? Oh, the Holocaust was a tragedy. The Nazis came, they murdered our Jews. Of course, without the Nazis, it wouldn't have happened. But who murdered the Jews? Who murdered the Jewish citizens of Lithuania who lived in Lithuania for generations? In most cases, Lithuanians. The same thing in Latvia, the same thing in Poland, Romania, Hungary, Croatia. So this is what we're fighting against, and this is something that has to be eradicated. We can't let these people get away with these lies. We have to make sure we identify the people who bear the full responsibility for these crimes. And over here in Skopje, in Macedonia, we're talking about Štip, we're talking about Bitola, Skopje. The Bulgarians did it, and they are responsible for it.
Вие сте директор на центарот Симон Визентал кој се наоѓа во Ерусалим. Како вашата организација им помага на евреите да ги уживаат своите права, впрочем човековите права како заедница во светот?
Okay, we bear the name of Simon Wiesenthal, who was the most famous Nazi hunter, a Holocaust survivor who devoted his entire life to trying to help bring Nazis to justice. And now a big part of what we do is to fight against anti-Semitism all over the world. So when I talk to you about Holocaust distortion, in a certain sense, that's one form of anti-Semitism. Mm-hmm. But of course we know that there are many other forms of attacks on Jewish institutions, schools and synagogues, etc. And we are doing everything to work with the law, the people responsibility, police, law, etc., to get laws passed against anti-Semitism, against racism, and the like, and to see that those laws are implemented and those people who commit these crimes are brought to justice and punished.